If you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles.
Hello everyone, BM Fox here, and this is the guide to Air Force combat. Air combat is one of the most difficult mechanics and you need to be very proactive. For starters, I'm gonna discuss each unit. After that, we're gonna look to the different doctrine bonuses. Thirdly, let's talk about stacking different units. What's the difference between patrol and attack, when to use direct attack, when to patrol. And let's discuss all the air mechanics involved so that you can become a professional Air Force fighter. Let's go. We're gonna start with all the different units. So let's go to the research tab, air. The most basic unit is the Interceptor. My stats, of course, are Axis, but so Interceptors, they deal 6.9 damage versus aircraft, 17 hit points, 480 speed. They have an attack range of 250 and a view range of 30. They are anti-air aircraft and they are carryable, so they can land on an aircraft carrier. Interceptors are the key in gaining air superiority. They are the best used to fight other aircraft or to scout out enemy positions. They can also help with the revealing and tracking down stealth units. So they have the scout ability. They can reveal stealth units like commandos or militia, for example. Obviously, they cannot reveal subs. They deal a little damage to land units, but you should never attack land units with interceptors, nor should you attack ships or submarines. Only attack other airplanes. Interceptors deal 1/3 more damage in attack than in defense. In attack, they deal 6.9 hit points, and in defense, 4.6. They're very easy, fast to produce. You only need an aircraft factory level 1. They can uncover stealth units of the same or a lower stealth level. So if you have an interceptor level 2, you can reveal stealth units of level 1 and 2. With interceptors, you can also reveal units that are hidden in a bunker, for example. They fly from airport to airport and they can land on an aircraft carrier. They only take 2 hours 45 minutes to produce. They're pretty cheap, so every single player in Call of War needs interceptors to protect their airspace. Always make interceptors. When I start a game, one of the first things I do is making 5 interceptors. Next unit is the Tactical Bomber. Of all units in the air tab, the Tactical Bomber has the biggest range with 350. It moves at 350, so it is much slower than Interceptor. It's a unit that is strongest versus unarmored units and deals 5.2 damage against them. 23 hit points themselves. View range 30. They are anti-unarmored, as I said. They are carryable, so they can land on aircraft carriers. And of course, it's an aircraft. They are offensive airplanes, most effective against unarmored units, and their high mobility can be used to destroy unguarded units or to support a ground assault. Tactical bombers deal 5.2 damage against unarmored units, 3.2 against light armor, and 1.7 against heavy armored units. They also deal a bit of damage to other airplanes, but you shouldn't attack other airplanes with tactical bombers. The sole exception is planes as a convoy unit, because those are considered as light armored, so you can attack convoy units with 3.2. They also have defensive stats, and tactical bombers only deal a half of the damage in defense. Then again, tactical bomber defending against unarmored units means you're a convoy unit. You want to avoid this at all costs. You only need a level 1 aircraft factory to produce them. They are expensive, but they can change the tide of a battle, so they're very useful. They take 4 hours 15 minutes to be produced. Then we have attack bombers. Attack bombers are to be used against heavy armored targets. They have 17 hit points, 30 view range, 460 speed, 300 attack range. They are faster than tactical bombers, but slower than interceptors. So they are an anti-heavy armor unit, aircraft, and they can land on carriers. Attack bombers are offensive airplanes that are most effective against heavy armor targets. Their high mobility can be used to destroy unguarded units or to support a ground assault. The role is exactly the same as tactical bombers. They deal 6.2 against heavy armor, also pretty good, 4.4 against light armor. They don't deal a lot of damage against unarmored units, so that's less interesting to attack. They deal a bit of damage to ships, however, and just like with tactical bombers, if you're in defense against ground units, that means you're a convoy, avoid it at all costs. Aircraft factory level 1, they take only 4 hours to produce. They're amazing units. And then the last plane that can land on a carrier is the Naval bomber. Bomber. The Naval Bomber deals 8.1 damage versus ships, 350 speed, that's the same as an attack bomber, 350 range, that's the same range as tactical bombers, 203 hit points. They are anti-stealth as they can reveal subs. They're anti-naval aircraft, obviously, and they are carryable. So naval bombers are best used to attack ships and to reveal and destroy submarines. When operating from aircraft carriers, they can protect their fleet and scout ahead. 8.1 versus ships, that's also 8.1 against convoy units at sea. They are overpowered against convoy units at sea, especially if they are unguarded by any navy. However, with naval bombers, please be careful, don't attack cruisers because cruisers are the anti-air of the seas. They can deal a little bit of damage to ground units, but you should never ever do this. They're also weak against other planes, but they deal heckload damage to ships, 8.1 and 5.8 against submarines. You only need an aircraft factory level 1. They are carryable like I said before, and you can produce them very fast in only 2 hours and 45 minutes. They're not so expensive. Naval bombers are perfect to guard your coastline, to scout it regularly. So Interceptor, Tactical Bomber, Attack Bomber and Naval Bombers are units that can land on an aircraft carrier. Then we've got the Strategical Bomber. Of those 5 units, the Strategical Bomber has the largest range of them all. They have a range of 600, 350 speed. Their role is to attack and bombard buildings. They deal 17.3 damage against buildings. They are anti-structure and they are of course an aircraft. They have 35 hit points, so they have more hit points, but they are pretty slow, so they can easily be intercepted by interceptors. Strategical bombers are offensive airplanes best suited to destroy buildings while also dealing moderate damage to province morale. They have a huge range and a high endurance, but are not prepared for fights with interceptors. They can deal a little bit of damage to land units, but you should never use them for this. Same, never use them to attack ships or submarines. You should only use them to attack buildings, right? You can produce them in a level 1 aircraft factory. They need minimum 4 hours, 15 minutes to be produced. They are more expensive, but they're pretty good. They are perfect to take out enemy air bases, to ground your enemy's air force. Take out those bunkers so that the enemy land units don't get any more bonuses, but we're gonna talk about strategical bombers more later on. Then there are more planes in the secret tab. You've got the flying bomb and the rocket, who are considered as a plane. They need an airbase to get launched, and you can use them to attack static targets. However, what I wanted to show you is the rocket fighter. The rocket fighter is not carryable. They have a very small attack range, only 250. However, they deal 28.6 damage versus aircraft. That is much more than Interceptor. So they have a small range. They cannot be used by a carrier, so they are mainly used on smaller maps where you don't have to do big scale invasions to another continent or to protect your core cities. They are also perfect. They have 35 hit points, 30 range, anti-air of course, and aircraft. Rocket fighters are very fast offensive planes. They have 1100 speed. They are the fastest plane out there, and they are perfect to counter enemy interceptors. However, be careful when refueling because they can get out because of their small range. You're always going to be in range at the front line of your enemy. They have a shorter range but a higher attack power than interceptors and are best used to protect provinces from aerial attacks. They can also deal quite a lot of damage against unarmored units, but they are best used against airplanes. Unlike interceptors, they only defend at 50%, they defend at 14.3, but they attack at 28.6. They are produced in a secret lab. However, you're also going to need an aircraft factory if you want to be able to fly away, because without it, your rocket fighter will just be a convoy unit. So it can fly from airport to airport, not on a carrier. They are expensive, but they are overpowered, so they're very interesting. And which is crazy is that you can upgrade them now, and if you upgrade them, you get 46.8 versus aircraft. This is completely nuts with a speed of 1400. Can you imagine that? Just crazy. and with 350 attack range, a rocket fighter level 2 has the same range like an interceptor. Then lastly, you have the nuclear bomber. Nuclear bombers have the same range approximately as strategical bombers, and they deal 1380 against land units. It's insane. However, they can get shot down by interceptors very easily, and if the enemy has a lot of anti-air units in the stack, you will lose. But I'm gonna explain that later in the aircraft mechanics. So single use, they are destroyed once their job is done, and they deal friendly fire. Be aware of that. You can kill your own units and your allies' units. The nuclear bomber carries out a devastating nuclear strike while it deals massive damage to all units, buildings, and province morale within a big blast radius. The blast radius is 50, the same as the range of an artillery. Nuclear bomber can be shot down by anti-air before it strikes. And that's not a small detail because they're very expensive. 1380 against unarmored units, 620 hit points against light armor, 862 against heavy armor. They deal a ton of damage against airplanes as well, also against ships, even submarines, also a lot of damage against buildings. You can produce them in a secret lab, but you're gonna need an airport to fly them away just with the rocket fighters. It also ignores forts, so forts won't give any protection against a nuclear bomber. With a blast radius of 50, just like artillery as I mentioned before, they're extremely expensive, and they take a long time to research as well. 4,200 goods, almost 8,000 manpower, 4,200 oil, 12,000 rare material, and $25,000. And they take 19 hours to produce. Their research can be unlocked at day 18, and allies can even unlock them sooner. Let's study the Doctrine bonuses now. I'm gonna go to the wiki, scroll down to the Warfare tab, and I'm gonna click on Doctrines. On the units that I've just shown, please keep in mind that I am playing Libya, which is Axis. So all units that I've shown you and all the stats, my planes have 15% more hit points and deal 15% more damage than other Doctrines. And units I've shown you were 10% more expensive. If you are playing another Doctrine than Axis, then your statistics will differ a little of what I've shown you. Axis doesn't get any bonus for their interceptors. Then again, you already have extra health and they deal extra attack, so Axis interceptors are still pretty good. Allies Doctrine gets access to upgrades 1 or 2 days earlier depending on the level, so allies can have high level interceptors faster than other Doctrines. Comintern Doctrine has the worst interceptors in the game. Not only do they deal 10% less damage due to their Doctrine, but the research upgrades are 1 or 2 days later available than other Doctrines, and Panasian has the best interceptors in the game as they get an additional 15% attack range and they deal 15% extra damage versus all units. On top of that, well, they are also 20% faster than other Doctrines. So more damage, more range, faster. They are beyond doubt the best interceptor out there, even better than Axis. For the tactical bombers, Allies Doctrine, they get an extra bonus, 15% damage extra against light armored units, and they get a 15% extra range with their tactical bombers. However, this is kind of a poisonous gift, because in any case, you need to escort your tactical bombers with your interceptors, and your interceptors, they have a smaller range. So who cares that you have a longer range? You can't risk it to attack with tactical bombers if they're not escorted by interceptors. Axis get an additional 15% damage versus unarmored units, and their attack bombers also deal 15% extra damage versus heavy armored units. Knowingly that Axis planes already deal 15% extra and have extra hit points, the attack bomber of Axis is beyond doubt the best in the game, dealing 30% more damage than Allies and Panasian and 40% more damage compared to Comintern. Axis attack bombers are crazy. The strategical bombers of Allies get a bonus. Their attack range is 15% higher, so they can bombard further into enemy terrain compared to any other Doctrine, and they get 15% extra hit points, so they are more difficult to kill. However, this means they have the same amount of hit points as Axis strategical bombers, and so Axis strategical bombers bombers, they deal the most damage of all the strategic bombers in the game. Only the Pan-Asian Doctrine gets a naval bomber bonus. They deal 15% more damage versus all ships and versus submarines. This gives them the same damage outputs as Axis, but they are still 20% faster. The Pan-Asian naval bomber is the best one out there. But where Axis really get dangerous is their rocket fighters. I mean, rocket fighters are already crazy deadly, completely overpowered, but Axis rocket fighters deal an additional 15%, and they move also 15% faster. Those are already super fast units, and they still move faster. And with the additional 15% damage versus planes, they deal 30% more damage than any other Doctrine out there. And even though Pan-Asian may have the fastest with 20%, Axis is not far behind. Allies have the best nuclear bomber, just like the Strategical bomber. Also, their nuclear bomber has 15% extra attack range, and they have 15% more hit points, so they are more difficult to kill. But in short, if we are talking about air overall, Axis has the best air force out there. However, if you are Pan-Asian, you're really good as well. If you're Pan-Asian, you don't need bombers. Just make interceptors. You can kill any air force out there. You're gonna be crazy good. You build your naval bombers as well, and you're gonna be unbeatable at sea. The weakest air force, beyond any doubt, is Comintern Doctrine. Only the Comintern attack bomber gets 15% hit points, and you can produce it faster. But it still stays a weak unit because Comintern get a 10% damage nerf. So if I would play Comintern Doctrine, I wouldn't even bother making Air Force. I would only make Interceptors, and a lot of them, because your Interceptors are the worst as well. Air Force is definitely not where Comintern Doctrine excels. I have made a stack of all different planes so that we can compare their range. As you can see, there are 3 circles, right? My Interceptors are a level 2. So level 1 Interceptors, they have a smaller range, about the same difference as here, so they have the smallest range. However, I upgraded them to level 2, which means that they have the same range as attack bombers. So an Interceptor level 2 has the same range as an attack bomber. Tactical bombers have a range that is larger. Have you seen the difference? So Tactical Bomber level 1 has the same range as an Attack Fighter level 2 and an Interceptor level 3. So every time you upgrade the unit, the range is gonna become bigger. This counts for all the units. Naval Bombers level 1 have the same range as Tactical Bombers level 1, okay? So also a Naval Bomber level 3 has the same range as a Tactical Bomber level 3. And then finally, we have the Strategical Bomber, who has the largest range, and they're only level 1. If you upgrade your strategical bombers, their range can become very large, especially for allies, who, as I have explained before, get an additional Doctrine bonus. As you can see, my soon-to-be enemy has a stack of level 2 rocket fighters. Rocket fighters level 2 have the same range as a tactical bomber, so the same range as an attack bomber level 2, interceptor level 3. Extremely fast, extremely deadly. And then my ally also has made an atomic bomber level 1, and as you can see, the range is very large, so be careful of those. They are extremely deadly, so if you want to protect your units, you need interceptors or rocket fighters, and if you make big stacks, you need to stack them with a lot of anti-air so that you don't give any juicy targets to the enemy. As atomic bombers are very expensive, they're only interesting to attack big stacks. Alright, so now how do you stack planes? Now they're all stacked together. However, when I want to move them now, they're always going to move by the speed of the slowest unit, and they're always going to use the range of the unit with the shortest range. So in this case, they're gonna move the speed of a strategical bomber, but they're gonna use the range of my interceptors level 2 and attack bomber level 1, right? So if I would fly like this, that would be very inefficient. The first thing that you need to pay attention to if you stack planes is that for every bomber, you also need an interceptor. So first, to make stacks, I'm already going to split up my 20 interceptors. I'm gonna split off my tactical bombers and my attack bombers. I can move attack or patrol, so I'm gonna move them to the airbase over here. Of course, only 10 units in a stack fight. So if I want to use my units efficiently, What I can do here is I can split them up. 10 interceptors, 5 tactical bombers, 5 attack bombers. The attack bombers, they're gonna attack the heavy armored units in a stack. The tactical bombers, they're gonna attack the unarmored units in a stack. And the 10 interceptors, they're gonna keep my planes safe and get counter-attacked by enemy air force. And they're also gonna absorb the counter damage that I receive so that my bombers can last longer. Another possibility to stack these units is in the case that you have an enemy who has a stack with only unarmored units, well, then you send only the 10 tactical bombers, right? If the enemy only has heavy armored units, you send all your attack bombers. So you can adjust your stack depending on the unit type used by your enemy. Always be careful that you attack heavy armored units with the attack bombers, unarmored units with your tactical bombers. So for example, if the enemy has a stack with 4 medium tanks and 6 motorized infantry, well, then I am going to use 6 bombers. I'm gonna use 4 attack fighters, right? So this is all pretty self-explanatory how you can make your stacks. The most important thing is that you always have 10 bombers and 10 interceptors together in one stack. Naval bombers, well, they're naval bombers, so I'm gonna split those off. And these, I'm going to send them to my coastline so that they can protect my coastline. Planes always automatically will choose the most efficient way. I can also use the air bases of my ally. So if I want, I can fly all the way to Rome, but as we're soon gonna be at war, I might just say that I'm gonna patrol over his submarines right here, because, well, as you know, naval bombers are good against submarines. So let's send them over there. Also here the same rule counts. You always want to escort your naval bombers with interceptors to avoid that they're gonna get a hit. If, however, you are protecting the Atlantic, for example, against invasion, and you have naval bombers stationed in Villa Ceroneros, then it's less important to protect them with interceptors, as you can only get attacked by sea. However, even then, it's a good practice to protect them with the interceptors, because if the Americans, they come with interceptors on an aircraft carrier, you're gonna be screwed, right? Because interceptors, they counter bombers. So I have 2 stacks. I can move them over here, or I could even move them to another airport. You see, he immediately adjusts the march. What you will notice is that there's also a red triangle. Within the red triangle, I can patrol. I can move in this triangle wherever I want. This is very, very useful. Without refueling, very easy. But for now, let's send them together with the others to the airbase. You need air bases to fly your planes from point A to point B. You could also drive them in a convoy truck, but you should never ever do this, as planes only have 12 hit points and convoy trucks are very slow and risk getting counterattacked by your enemy. You should never ever do this. Never, alright? Please. There are 2 different types of air bases. You've got the aircraft factories over here, and you've got the airstrips. You have airstrips level 1, level 2, and level 3. A level 1 airbase has only 20 hit points, and you take 30 minutes to refuel. That's a long time, and 20 hit points is nothing. If your airbase gets attacked, even if you only have 19 hit points left, the airbase isn't operational anymore, and your planes are going to turn into convoy units. That's not interesting. So you want to have a lot of airfields on the front line, or even better, you upgrade them to level 2, because a level 2 airbase has 60 hit points. That's 3 times more, so they're 3 times less vulnerable. Upgrading your airstrip also reduces the refueling time with 10 minutes, so you only refuel for 20 minutes. And finally, an airstrip level 3 has 120 hit points. That's 6 times more than a level 1. That's still the double of a level 2, and you refuel in only 10 minutes. So later in the game, you should always have air bases of level 3 so that you can move around your planes very fast from one point to another, that you can fly fast around continents and to help your allies. Additionally, what is very interesting is that you can protect your air base by constructing other buildings in the same province, because my fortifications also have 100 hit points. My infrastructure has 63 hit points. So 63 hit points plus 100 hit points, that's already 162 hit points that I have added to my airbase of 120 hit points. So to take this airbase out of operation, they would have to reduce it by 100 hit points. They should have to destroy the fortifications with 100 hit points, and destroyed the infrastructure with 63 hit points. So the chance that my airstrip level 3 is going to be taken out by enemy planes is very, very unlikely. The second type of airports that you can also use to move your planes are the aircraft factories. As they are aircraft factories, they are way more expensive than the airstrips, so you should avoid building a lot of these. The aircraft factory, you should only build it if you have the intention to produce planes in there. In an aircraft factory level 1, you will need 30 minutes to refuel. In the level 2, 25 minutes. With each higher level, the refueling time will be reduced with 5 minutes. So an aircraft factory level 3, 20 minutes. Level 4, 15 minutes. Level 5, 10 minutes refueling time. And of course, with each level, also the hit points increase. A level 2 aircraft factory has 40 hit points. So you don't want your air bases taken out by the enemy because your planes become convoy units and they're weak to kill, but you also want to upgrade them to refuel fast, because when you refuel your planes, they are considered as convoy units and have only 12 hit points. So refueling airplanes are way easier to kill than when they are in the air. Now what happens on patrol is the following. As you know, your units, they attack each 15 minutes at 50%. However, in plane warfare, the enemy defends first. If the other player is having a lot of planes and you just fly in there on direct attack, the enemy will first defend and you risk losing all your planes to the defensive output damage of the enemy without even opening a shot yourself, because first the enemy defends and only then you get to attack. In this case, Persia is patrolling, the planes are just outside of his attacking range. And secondly, he knows that Tanyanika is not so active, that he has no other planes, and as he has the superior air force, he can patrol there without the risk of a counterattack. So in this case, patrol is more efficient. And as you can see, he's far away. So if he would use direct attack, he would lose too much time flying back, refueling, and flying back in. Patrol is just so much faster. But if we have an active enemy who risks flying away at each instant, it's better using direct attack. However, here he can't, because, well, the planes are outside of his range to attack. Planes on patrol, they attack everything within their blue circle. Every 15 minutes, 50% damage output. How my patrol circle is now put, I am both targeting the railroad gun stack and I am also targeting Payne's rocket fighters. However, I don't want to attack these railroad guns because they have anti-air in it and they are in a bunker. What I want to do, I want to target those rocket fighters. So first I'm gonna split off my planes to have optimal damage output. There we go. Now, next thing I want to take out those planes without attacking the railroad guns. So what I need to do is I need to move my plane's patrol circle so that it still touches the patrol from Payne without that I have the railroad guns in my blue circle, right? There we go. And what Payne here is trying to do, he is trying to protect his planes. He only has 2 planes, so he knows that he will lose. If you are ever in the disadvantage where you have an opponent that has a way stronger air force, you can patrol over your ground units so that if the enemy planes attack you, then not only will your planes defend, but also the anti-air in your ground stack. Also, he only has 3 anti-air in them, so he wants to protect his railroad gun stack as efficiently as possible. So he wants to protect it also with his planes, because he knows I've got bombers incoming. I'm gonna target this railroad gun stack with my bombers. So he tries to protect it with his 2 rocket fighters. It's all he has. It's all he has to protect his railroad guns. So what he will have to do is he's gonna have to adjust his patrol circle every time to force me to both have the railroad guns and his fighters in my patrol circle. And I cannot direct attack him because he's out of range. So my only way to take out these planes is on patrol. So I've got both my planes on patrol now without being ranged from the railroad guns. The only thing I need is I need to touch this blue dot here. I need to touch it within my patrol circle, because if I don't, just like you saw before, I cannot see those bombers and his bombers cannot see me. In the past with planes, you could just slightly touch the patrol circle of your enemy, even only with a couple of millimeters. But now in Call of War 2.0, you need to have the blue dot at least in your patrol circle. So right now I'm good. When I attack, I'm only gonna attack the planes, not the ground units. So if he doesn't come online soon, he will lose his planes. And once those planes are gone, then I'm gonna be able to bring in my bombers. Air versus air fighting is just like it was in World War II. It's a dogfight. It's a cat and mouse game. And either the fastest, the smartest, or the strongest will win the game. And for air versus air combat, you need to be very active, very reactive, because while I'm patrolling here, I could get counterattacked at any given moment. So you always need to be aware of this. Plane versus plane warfare is very fast. A frequently asked question in regard of air combat is, when do I patrol and when do I use direct attack, right? Because both have their advantages and disadvantages. You can see that right now I am attacking a single unit right over here. It is an anti-air, but it's only a single one, so it cannot hurt me a lot. I decided to attack it. Why? Because it's a single unit. I can snapshot it in a single time. If you are presented with only a single target and it's not too far from your airbase, it is interesting to attack it in a single time. Just snapshot it, take it out, especially if you have a level 3 airbase like me. I mean, the target is close. I only refuel 10 minutes, so this would be the perfect choice. However, you can see that now there are units over here as well, and the advantage of patrol is that I can fly this unit and I can position my patrol circle so that it only attacks that unit, and then afterwards I can go to the next target. I can target this armored car over here without refueling, then I can take out this stack without refueling, then I take out this stack without refueling, and I'm gonna be way more efficient and I'm gonna lose much less time hitting those targets on patrol. I can just take one target after the other. Bam, one stack gone. Bam, another stack gone. Bam, another stack gone. That's the biggest advantage of patrol. You don't have to refuel, and as long as you stay here in this red triangle, you don't have to go back to your airbase. If I wanted now to attack this stack, for example, on patrol, you will see that my planes, they will go back to the airbase first before I can patrol that region. However, also this stack, I could take it out in a single shot, as I have 10 tactical bombers who are level 3. However, in this case, I want to take care of these units first, and I'm gonna take them out on patrol so that afterwards I can take care of these units immediately. So basically, you always want to use patrol because it saves you a lot of time. And as I've explained you earlier, refueling is risky business because, well, your airbase can get hit by rockets, you can get counterattacked by interceptors while you are refueling, your airbase can get attacked by strategical bombers while you are refueling. So right now I'm fighting an AI, so I'm not doing this, but what you want to do when you refuel is you want to send in other planes so that they can patrol over your airbase. I've got another stack of planes over here, which I can just make patrol over my airbase. This way, whomever is going to try to attack me while I'm refueling, my airbase is secured by other units. Another possibility is to put a stack. Previously I had this stack at my airbase. It has anti-air in it, so it gives me more protection when I'm refueling. So if you use direct attack, make sure your airbase is not level 1, at least level 2, preferably level 3. Put units in it with the anti-air protection to give your refueling place cover, or even better, do like I have done and send interceptors to patrol over your refueling units. This way they are secure. Now, when can you use direct attack? You can use direct attack to kill single units or a small stack of 2 units of which you know that you can take it out immediately. Like, for example, this armored car right over here, or this armored car stack over here, only 2 units. You could kill it easily with planes. You see here, for example, I'm gonna direct attack because I can't patrol, there's too many units. I can just snapshot that single unit because planes, they're gonna attack all the units in their patrol circle, and you can see that in this case there's too many. However, on direct attack, I can pick off a single unit as long as this unit is further away than 5 minutes from another unit. In this case, this anti-air stack needs another 11 minutes to arrive to target, and I only need 50 seconds to get there. So it's still gonna be far enough. So the sole target that I'm gonna attack will be this single anti-air, and I won't be attacking all the other units that I would be attacking in patrol. So we already have 2 reasons now to use direct attack. 1, to kill a single unit. 2, snapshot units so that they can pick them off without attacking other units close by. There we go. The anti-air is gone with a single shot. I didn't deal any other damage to those units over here. So now I'm going to be ready to snapshot my next target, which is going to be this anti-air over here. And I'm only going to patrol over there if no other units are in the patrol circle. Otherwise, I'm just going to attack it instead. It needs 26 minutes, but I need 21 minutes to get there, right? I need to fly to my airbase for 9 minutes. I need to refuel. That's 19 minutes, and I need to fly back. So I'm not gonna be able to target this unit. It's gonna be too late. So instead, I am going to go to this region, see if later on I can take out some of those units. Or I could go here. Those are only 5 units. Most of them are unarmored or light armor, and they have no anti-air in them at all. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna send them over here. There we go. That's nice. And if I was attacking a player, I would not have only 6 interceptors in here. I would have 10, because if 10 high-level interceptors level 5 would attack my stack over here, and me only with my defensive stats, which is only 2/3, I would receive a lot of damage, which is not what I want. But as this is AI, it matters less. However, you always want interceptors in your stack over here. First, for protection. 2, so that they absorb damage, so that your tactical bombers can survive longer. And thirdly, because your interceptor is a scout unit. Your interceptors, they will reveal hidden units. Like there's a lot of forests over here. They could be anti-tanks here, tank destroyers, militias, and I wouldn't be able to see them with my bombers. And bombers, well, they can't attack what they can't see, right? So to resume, patrol is better because it's more time efficient, because you can fly from target to target within the red triangle. It is safer as you don't have to refuel. You don't take the risk of getting attacked while refueling. But there is a third reason why it's good patrol instead of direct attack, and it is that your planes take less damage, because each unit, they have a defensive value, right? When I click on the light tank, you can see that the light tank deals 0.5 damage versus an airplane. The anti-air level 2 deals 7.2 damage to planes. So these two units combined, they deal 7.7 damage against my planes. So if I would direct attack this stack right over here, I would receive 7.7 damage, right? However, if I patrol, my attack gets divided into 2, as regular units attack each half an hour, at 100% of course. Planes, they have the option to patrol and deal damage every 15 minutes at 50%. So on patrol, I'm gonna attack at 50%, so the units are going to defend at 50% as well. So in this case, in my first patrol cycle, I'm not gonna receive 7.7 damage because he's only gonna defend at 50%, right? So on patrol, in patrol, my planes are only gonna receive 3.85 damage. However, you're gonna deal a tremendous amount of damage to the enemy, right? Now, heavily damaged units, they deal less damage. If you go to the information button on status and you go to damage efficiency, when your units are damaged, the damage efficiency goes down. So you can see that this stack versus planes, because it's so damaged, only deals 33%. And so the more your units get damaged, the less damage efficiency they have. So I would receive 3.85 damage if they had 100 damage efficiency, but they don't because they're heavily damaged. They only defend at 1/3 right now. So actually, the stack is only dealing 1.28 hit points. So next patrol now, this stack will deal less damage to my planes, right? So my second patrol shot, the second time I'm gonna attack at 50%, I'm gonna receive less damage because previously I have damaged it already. Got it? But if you attack on direct attack and you attack at 100%, you didn't damage this unit previously. So the damage efficiency of that stack that you're attacking is higher. So you're gonna receive more damage, right? So on patrol, every second patrol shot that you give is gonna receive less damage. Whether on direct attack, you don't have this advantage. And I know the difference is small, but in Call of War, all small differences, they make a big difference. Because if you do this a lot, then your planes are gonna be less damaged, meaning that they will deal more damage to the enemy in the future, which means you're gonna have to replace your units less frequently. Planes are very valuable. They can really turn the tide in a battle, as most countries, they get beaten by single units. Single units getting behind the lines everywhere, and you're screwed. That's where your Air Force comes in. They are perfect to pick off all patrol those single units. However, you want to keep your planes safe. If you're not online, you want to keep your planes as far behind enemy lines as possible. I might actually patrol them over here. You always need to make sure that your planes are out of range of the enemy, that you are 100% sure that your planes cannot be attacked while you are offline. Right here, all my planes are in range of 20 rocket fighters level 2. If I would go offline right now, I would be screwed big time. If you're gonna be offline for a longer period of time, you're not gonna patrol over enemy units neither, because the enemy can always put anti-air units under them or attack you with interceptors while you are not there. If you want to fight with planes, you need to be active. So first golden rule is to leave your planes always behind your lines, out of enemy range. The second rule is to always have your planes on patrol. I've got my planes on patrol right here, got my planes on patrol right here, but to give you an example, I have kept one plane, I have kept one stack that is parked in the airbase. This is what you should not do, because if this airbase gets taken out, it's only level 1, so even if I only lose 1 out of the 20 hit points, this airbase is gone and these planes are gonna turn into convoy units. There are 4 ways to take out an airbase and to lose your planes very fast. The first possibility to take out an airbase is with strategical bombers. Second option to take out an airbase is with rockets. I'm right in the range here. One rocket, this airbase is down. My stack of planes that are parked are gonna transform in convoy units. Third way to take out an airbase is with spies. If at day change the enemy puts spies here on military sabotage and they take out this airbase, I'm gonna be screwed because these planes are gonna be in convoy trucks. And the last possibility is fast moving units. The enemy here has maximum level motorized infantry. They move at 109 speed. If I go offline, he can force march his infantry in, take out this airbase, and my planes are gonna get locked into melee combat. This is not what you want. For this reason, you're always gonna keep your planes in patrol, because if you keep your planes on patrol, your planes are just gonna be attributed to another airport and they're gonna stay in the air. They're gonna be safe. I'm gonna put them back on the ground and I'm gonna illustrate what I've discussed. Spain will attack my airbase with a rocket and we're gonna see what happens. For helping me making the air combat guide, his name is ProK68. He's a friend from my alliance, and as you can see, he's an exceptional good player, both in regular games and in alliance tournaments. Thanks a lot, mate. So as you can see, Morocco, he has declared war to me. He already has out of his rocket fighter stacks on standby. A rocket is incoming to my level 1 airbase to destroy it. Of course, in the regular game, you're never gonna see this. It's gonna surprise you the last minute, but the rocket is coming. Flying bombs can get destroyed by interceptors, however, rockets cannot. So rockets are fail-safe, and rockets are the perfect tool to take out enemy airbases. The rocket is incoming. As you can see, it is going to land any moment. You almost have no time to react, and there we go. What is happening now? The airbase has been destroyed, so my planes, they turned into convoy trucks. However, the planes that were in patrol, they are not lost. They are being transferred now to another airport. And for this reason, you always need to have level 2 or even level 3 air bases so that your airstrips cannot get taken out, because right now I'm about to lose 20 planes. There is nothing I can do about it. If these same planes would have been over here, then the airbase would never have been taken out. I would have been safe. If I would have retreated my planes into my own territory out of range, I would have been safe as well. Worst thing now is that he can launch a second rocket if he wished to take out my planes. And even if I'm gonna move now my units, they're gonna need 49 minutes to arrive over here. And the fact that they move so fast is only because I've almost have level 3 infrastructure over here, and so my unit speed is 200%. There is no way with these fast planes that I'm gonna be able to escape. So I hope with this example I've made it clear how fast the tides can shift and how it's really important to be on top of your game in air versus air battles and to always use air bases of level 3. If you don't have the resources to upgrade your airstrips to level 3, you should at least have air bases of level 2. This is no luxury, because if you think that an airstrip level 3 is expensive, what about losing 40 planes? That's expensive. Right now I'm screwed. I'm about to lose my planes. So the only thing I can do right now is I'm gonna attack the airbase in a bougie that he is using, because if I don't target his airbase, my planes are gonna get killed. However, I need 30 minutes to get there, and this is a friendly match. In a real game, before retreating to his airbase, he would have attacked my planes. Now, of course, he didn't. He's gonna retreat to his airfield right now, because as he scouts well, he knows that my planes are coming, and so now he's going to try to intercept my bombardment wing to avoid getting his own planes grounded. And by doing so, I'm gonna get temporary relief to maybe at least save half of my units. My tactical bombers are going to land in 50 seconds. They're gonna need 25 minutes to refuel before they're gonna be able to move out of range of these rocket fighters. However, this airbase here is now out of range, so I'm gonna have to fly over here before I can fly over here and get out this way. And you can see the countdown right here. He needs now another 24 and 18 minutes to refuel. However, you probably can't see the countdown because, well, I'm sitting in front of it, but on your screen you're going to be able to see this. So the conclusion is always keep your planes on patrol. You have way less chance to lose your planes if they are on patrol and your airstrip gets destroyed. So always keep your planes in patrol. Even if your airbase gets destroyed, you'll have a chance to get your planes out of there. However, if they are parked, forget about it. They're dead meat. My strategical bombers will arrive in Bougie in 14 minutes, but I have to fly through their patrol circle first. Now, planes on patrol, they attack every 15 minutes at 50%. When I click on unit, over here you can see the countdown. Of course, you can see it because my chair is in front of it, but the countdown is 9.30 minutes. So planes on patrol, every 15 minutes, they're gonna attack everything in their patrol circle at 50%. It doesn't matter which kind of unit is in the patrol circle, whether it is a plane, a single ground unit, stack of ground units, ships, anything that rocket fighter wing here can see will get attacked once that patrol countdown hits 0. And you can see that one stack on direct attack deals 468 damage, and on defense it is the health 234. As he's on patrol and deals only 50% damage, it's the same stats like the defensive ones, so he's gonna deal 234 hit points damage with a single stack of 10 rocket fighters. And I have only 140 hit points. So as soon as this rocket fighter stack, its patrol countdown hits 0, my planes will get attacked, they will get destroyed instantly. And this is the big problem of strategical bombers. They are extremely slow, and due to their large range, it is not possible to accompany them with interceptors, and so you always risk getting attacked by enemy air units. And now, if there is one unit that is perfect, keep your core provinces safe from strategical bombers, it is rocket fighters. And they're gone. You all saw it live, and you can see here now the blue strip here has gone gray again. And as closer as the patrol comes to attack, the more blue it gets, like over here. In 7 seconds, it's gonna hit as well. 3, 2, 1. There we go. And the countdown starts over again. In this particular game, for example, we have no air dominance. Even though there are 50 level 4 commissariat planes, we have no air dominance. So one way to keep them safe and to keep your units also safe against an attack is to patrol all your planes in the exact same area and to put anti-air in your stacks. He's largely overstacked, but he's offline, so he's trying to keep his units safe. Also in Africa, we have no air dominance, so we are guarding the airbase here. Anti-air, we've got a 6 level 3 anti-air in here and 5 SP anti-air. And all our planes are patrolling in the same patrol circle. This way, if a plane would get attacked, all these planes will all defend. This is safety by numbers, and we are far away from the enemy. There is no way we can get hit over here. That's what you want. Keep your planes safe out of enemy range when you're not on the line. Another thing to pay attention to is while relocating between between airports. I'm gonna relocate here to the airstrip over here. I need 33 minutes. 33 minutes is a long time for a short distance like this, but then again, level 1 tactical bombers, well, they're pretty slow. Now, what do you guys think that will happen in case the air factory in Ilwed will be attacked? I mean, it's level 2, right? It's got 14 hit points. My tank plant is 15 hit points. So my buildings in total, they have 55 hit points. I mean, this airbase should be safe to operate from, right? Let's see if my airbase is gonna get taken out while I'm transferring between airbases, and what happens if my airbase gets taken out between flights. Ouch! Did you see that? My airbase just got taken out, and as I have no units in them, I couldn't even see the attack happening, man. Bam! Airbase taking out. So what is now going to happen with my planes, right? Are they gonna continue? Yes, they do. Previously in Call of War, if the airbase where you were operating from got taken out, your planes were recalled, and it was extremely dangerous to transfer your planes from one airbase to another, especially if the enemy was close by. Luckily, this got fixed now, which helps to keep your plane safe. You can see that now Spain, he is patrolling over Ilwed, right? Because he expects that my planes over here, they will get recalled to Ilwed, which is not the case anymore with this fixed mechanic. There's still a lot of veteran players out there who don't know and who will try in your games to take out the air bases while you are transferring to another airbase, in the hope that your units are gonna be recalled and gonna transform in convoy units so that they can destroy them easily. Finally, Byte will fix this, and this mechanic is now a thing from the past. And what planes excel is simply taking out single units. I've got Spain here who sent single units to try to take over my provinces, so I'm gonna attack them straight away, and they're gonna get killed pretty fast, because most players getting defeated, they're not getting defeated by huge armies. They get defeated by single units who are running everywhere and capturing a lot of provinces. If you can take out all these single units, your chances to survive is much larger by using Air Force. Planes are the fastest and the most efficient unit to take care of situations like this. Bam! More than 50% hit points are gone from that medium tank. It's a level 4, has a lot of hit points, and even though my planes are level 1, they gave a lot of damage. I chose direct attack because it's a single unit and I was hoping to snapshot it in a single time, but it's too high level to do this. However, as the enemy is close, it is the fastest way to take out the unit, because I've got level 3 airbase. I only need to refuel 10 minutes. Here, however, it might be more efficient to patrol, but because the enemy has superior air force, I cannot permit myself to patrol here for an hour, because it's an open door for a counterattack. I've explained you the advantages and disadvantages of direct attack and patrol, but in the end you'll have to judge yourself when it is better to use direct attack and when to choose to do a patrol instead. My planes are arriving to target, and I noticed that there are actually 2 units over here. To take them out, a boat would take way too long. I would have to make 4 trips back and forth. So in this case, it's just better to patrol. So I'm gonna patrol instead. I can actually just patrol where I am. You see this white dot? That's the exact position of your planes. So now he's gonna start patrolling immediately. And so in 15 minutes, the first damage will be dealt. However, when you patrol, you need to be very careful, because once you see those interceptors arriving or rocket fighters, you need to get the hell out of there. Bombers are slow. If you don't have air superiority, patrol is risky. So I said that patrolling when the enemy has dominance is normally a bad idea, right? And you can see the results. I've been attacked by 10 rocket fighters, and it happened so fast I didn't even have time to react, let alone to record. And in a single attack, I've lost 1 interceptor, 2 attack bombers, and my overall health of my stack is less than 50%. Of course, the enemy has to refuel, and in 55 I'm gonna have my patrol shot. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let him finish the patrol shot, because which is cool, with planes you don't have a cooldown period. As soon as my patrol shot has been given, I can still attack again. So I'm just gonna wait until the patrol is finished, and then I'm gonna attack again. And that's really cool, because in a matter of seconds you can attack at 150%. Your patrol shot of 50% and another direct attack of 100%. 3 more seconds. Go, go, go. There you go. You saw it, And that is the risk when your planes are low on health and you attack units. As every unit has a defensive value, you start losing units faster. So I'm now gonna attack that medium tank, and that's cool, I can attack straight away. 40 seconds and I get another shot at 100%. Patrol is so efficient. Then you can just finish him off with a single attack. However, this is a medium tank with 72 hit points, so I'm not gonna be able to kill it in a single attack. But I'm single attacking. I have to, because those rocket fighters very soon they're gonna come back. I need to get out of there. Okay. Now the plane is getting out of there. Now I need to stack it together with my other plane over here so that the damage can be spread over both stacks. So I'm gonna stop the attack, just bring it back to the airbase. Move, there we go, move to the airbase, there we go. This you need to do manually, because if you don't click the stop button, your plane is gonna continue attacking until either you lose your planes or the enemy unit is killed. So attacking is also useful if you want to go to bat, for example, but you've got single units running around your territory or small stacks, but you really have to go to bed. You just use direct attack and your planes are gonna keep tracking them until they are defeated. That's another big advantage of direct attack. It is cool that you have these both options. It gives you lots of choice, and each time you can decide, depending on your strategy and on your personal timetable, what is the more efficient and what convenes you best. I love planes. And let's be honest, players never use enough anti-air and they never have enough interceptors, and in plenty games your planes are gonna pave the road to victory. In 15 seconds my attack over here is gonna attack the medium tank brigade again, and now it should be gone. No, it's not gone. 3.2 hit points. Are you kidding me? As said before, naval bombers are very good against submarines. And even though that these submarines are out of range, and so I cannot direct attack them, I can attack them on patrol. Even the small part that is outside of my range will still be able to attack other units in it. 8 minutes and 40 seconds, I'm gonna deal my first patrol shot. For level 1 Axis bombers, they attack at 32.4 hit points, as you can see here below, and they defend only on the half, 16.2. So the defensive stats, as they are only 50%, they also count for the patrol offense. So I'm gonna attack every 15 minutes with 16.2 hit points. The submarines have 230 hit points. So 230 hit points, and I deal 16.2 hit points per shot, so every 15 minutes. So I'm gonna need 3 hours and a half to take the submarines out. However, this is risky business. As you can see here, another patrol point. This is of the Italian Interceptors, meaning that as soon as he gets online, he will counterattack me. So in a case like this, it is better to use direct attack so that the enemy can only see last minute that you are attacking with planes. And if he's not fast enough to react, you're gonna be able to get out of there without being counterattacked. However, patrolling like this during 3 hours and a half with only 4 naval bombers without an interceptor escort is an open invasion for a counterattack. So what I'm doing over here is extremely risky. As you can see here on the timer that is getting slowly blue again, I have dealt my first 16.2 hit points damage. The subs no longer have 230 hit points, but now they have 217.3. Naval bombers are really good, but you need them in numbers. And submarines have a lot more HP than convoy units, for example, and naval bombers deal less damage to submarines than to ships. So if I want to play efficiently, I would need more naval bombers, or at least I should upgrade them, because also I am taking counter damage, right? I was at 92 hit points and now I'm at 85.6. I've lost 6.4 hit points, so roughly for every damage that I deal, I'm gonna take 1/3 in counter damage myself. As you can see, I have now reduced the hit points of the submarine stack by almost 50%. However, it comes at a hefty cost, because also my naval bombers are heavily damaged. They are below 50%, they only have 40.5 hit points, and as these are my only naval bombers for now, what I want to do is stop, because I'm taking too much damage and I want to keep my naval bombers in case I get invaded to attack convoy units. So it is important in any attack, when you see that even if statistically you are winning because I deal more damage than I'm receiving, I would lose my units as well. So you need to decide for yourself what you want, if it's worth it to sacrifice your 4 naval bombers to be able to attack 10 subs. A lot of things in Call of War are situational, and so it is up to you to decide what you think is the best solution.